Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. So today we have a battle against Braves. This is a guy that we've played a few times over the years actually, formerly known as Adam. He's also known as Southside Braves, has his own YouTube channel as well. And so yeah, like I said, we have battled several times over the years in the most recent Pokemon games here, although this is our first match here on Scarlet and Violet. So, looking at his team on the right there, looks to be pretty strong looking, pretty well balanced team there. Looking at my team, it is the same one that I've been using the past couple of games. So, what do I want to lead with here? That is a good question. Not much time to decide. I think we're gonna go with the Talonflame in this one. Seems to probably give us the most amount of options in this one, and we'll see how that works out. So this guy is a good competitive battler. We always have some pretty fun and interesting matches, so hopefully this one will be no different. So, he is going to go ahead and lead with the Gengar as we led with the Talonflame. So, we're in a little bit of an interesting situation here, because we do have, since we're at full HP, we have that priority flying attack Brave Bird in tow now. And we also do naturally outspeed this thing anyway, unless I believe he's either max speed investment or Scarf. So I don't really expect him to want to stay in on this matchup, so we're actually just going to go for a U-turn here right out of the gate. We are choice banned max attack, so we should get some decent chip on something. As he does stay in, we go U-turn. Going to do a little bit of chip to this thing as it does resist at X4, and then we are going to get the pivot out. So I think what we're going to do here is, how do we want to play this? I think our safest play is to go ahead and come in with the Tinkaton, so that's what we're going to do here. We do have the poison immunity, so we'll see how he wants to play it here. We are going to get the Mold Breaker coming into play, and he is going to go for a Trick, so that's interesting. He's going to go ahead and trick us, so he is going to give us a choice specs and take our leftovers. So that's pretty bad actually for us, as Tinkaton is a purely physical attacker, so that kind of sucks, because now we're kind of crippled with the Tinkaton. So I'd say the best thing we can do at this point here is just to go ahead and go for a knockoff, so that's exactly what we're going to do. He may not want to stay in on this matchup, probably not, but yeah, we'll see what he wants to do here. At least we could get some chip and remove an item from something with the Tinkaton, depending on what he wants to do. So he is indeed going to go ahead and switch the Gengar out, and he's going to go ahead and come in with the Gastrodon. So that's kind of okay. We do get the knockoff on this thing, which is going to do some decent chip and get rid of that thing's leftovers. So that's not bad. Unfortunately, we have no choice but to switch out here since we're choice specs locked into knockoff. And we're going to just go to the Arboliva here. It is definitely our safest switch. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We do resist both this thing's stab moves, so that's a plus. We come in with that. He is just going to go ahead and get the Stealth Rock set up on us, which is unfortunate, but not much we can do about that. And yeah, so now I can't imagine he's going to want to stay in on this matchup. He does have a lot of potential switches to a grass move. So I think, how do we want to play this here? How do we want to play this? He has, actually, I think most of the rest of his team resists grass, so we have a couple of options, but I think the safest play is to go for the Hyper Voice, so we're just going to go for that, and we'll see what he wants to do, as he is going to go for the switch, and he's going to be coming in with the that is the Rotom Mow form. So we do get a Hyper Voice on this at max special attack. That's going to knock this thing down to about a third HP, which is great damage, so he can't take another one of those. I don't know if what he's going to want to do here, but I think... How do we want to play this? How do we want to play this? I mean, we do resist both this thing's stab moves, so I think the best thing we can do is stay in. He's probably going to Volt Switch out if I had it. Either that or he's going to go for some type of... Or he could trick us, actually. That's a possibility. This is kind of a difficult call here, but I think we just play it safe and go Hyper Voice again, as he is just going to Volt Switch out. So that is not going to do too much damage to us. It is also going to trip our Seed Sower to go ahead and put the Grassy Terrain on the battlefield. So we could have made a risky play there and gone for something else, but I didn't really feel like doing that early. So he is going to pivot out, obviously, and we'll see what he wants to come in with. It is going to be the Paldean Tauros Blaze Breed, so he comes in with that, gets the Intimidate to cut our attack. We're going to go for the Hyper Voice here. It is going to do a ton of damage to that thing, knocking it down to about a quarter, but he does survive, unfortunately. Get some HP back with the Grassy Terrain, as we also get some Grassy Terrain HP back, and then Leftovers recovery as well. So we definitely can't stay in on this matchup here, and unfortunately we don't have the best of switches to this thing. But I think since it's crippled, our best switch might actually just be the Tinkaton, because if he goes for the fire move, that could take him out. So that's a possibility. We could also come in with the Pseudo Wudo, which I kind of want to do if he goes for the fire move, but this thing has so much coverage. I feel like it's a difficult choice. How do we want to play this? Alright, I think we have to... We'll make a little bit of a risk here, and we'll go to the Pseudo Wudo, predicting the fire move. And hope this thing is a choice in some way. I guess that's really the best we can do right now, so without sacking anything outright to this thing. So I'm going to come in with the Pseudo Wudo, and we are going to take the Stealth Rock damage here, as he is going to go for the close combat, so he does make that prediction, and that's just going to go ahead and one-shot our Pseudo Wudo, which is extremely unfortunate for us. So yeah, that's going to take the Pseudo Wudo out, and that's going to knock us down to... 5, as he does get some Grassy Terrain HP back, so that is definitely bad news. So we have a little bit of a choice on our hands here. How do we want to play this? How do we want to play this? You know what? I think if we're ever going to have a chance to make something happen, how do we do this? I think we go into... I think now we go into the Tinkaton. So we're going to try to go into the Tinkaton here. We do take the Stealth Rock damage. We do get the Mold Breaker coming into play. I believe he could be Choice Item. There's definitely a chance he could be Choice Item here, since we didn't see a Life Orb. I feel like that is a chance that we might be willing to take. So I think what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go for... We're going to go for the Gigaton Hammer on this thing and see what he wants to do. He is going to go for the switch. So what's he going to want to come in with here? It is going to be the Gastrodon. So he's coming in with that. We go for the Gigaton Hammer, and that is going to do a lot of damage to this thing, knocking it down to about a third, as we do get some HP back with the Grassy Terrain. Obviously we can't stay in here because, unfortunately, we're going to go ahead... How do we want to do this? We're going to go back to Arboleva here. So, unfortunately, with being choice specs locked into Gigaton Hammer, we actually can't go for Gigaton Hammer twice in a row, so that would be a very unfortunate situation. So we're going to come in with the Arboleva, take the Stealth Rock damage. He's going to go for a Spike, so he's setting up more hazards on us, which is extremely unfortunate. And yeah, that is bad news. So we are going to get more Grassy Terrain HP and Leftovers recovery, which is nice. He is also going to get that Grassy Terrain recovery there. So, again, I don't imagine this thing wanting to stay in, especially since I don't think he has anything to hit us with. He could predict the Hyper Voice and go to the Gengar or the Kingambit. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make a prediction here, and we're actually going to go... we're actually going to go for the Earth Power here, trying to catch him, as he does go for the switch. So it's going to depend on what he wants to come in with here. What's it going to be? It is going to be the Gengar. So he does make the Gengar switch, trying to get in for free on the Hyper Voice, but we catch him on the switch with the Earth Power, and that is going to take that Gengar out and knock him down to 5. So that was a critical prediction for us that really paid off. And Gengar is down, and that is great news, as we do get the last of our HP back with the grassy terrain. So now he's going to go ahead and come back in with the Tauros. So this is obviously bad, as we are weak to both of this thing's stab moves. So I think we're probably going to have to just give this thing something. That's the unfortunate reality, and I feel like the sacrificial lamb in this situation is going to have to be the Tinkaton. So we're going to switch in with that, because I feel like we just have to see what he choice locks himself into, because I'm really predicting this thing to be choice at this point. So we're going to come in with the Tinkaton here. We take the Stealth Rock damage and the Spikes damage too, unfortunately. We get the Mold Breaker coming into play. And he is going to go for the close combat here, so that is not quite enough to take us out. He is going to take some defense drops off of that as well. And so, yeah, I think we're probably not going to survive another attack here, but I think we just go for the Gigaton Hammer here. But yeah, we're not going to live another attack, as he just go for the close combat again. And obviously that will take the Tinkaton out. And that is going to obviously drop his defenses again, but that will knock us down to 4. So I feel like the only chance we really have at this point is the Poltegeist. So I think now is the time. It's do or die time, I think, for the Poltegeist. So we're going to assume that he's choice locked at this point, and we're going to come in with the Poltegeist, which of course has the immunity to the fighting attacks. We do take the hazard damage, and I think what we have to do in this situation is we have to Shell Smash and hope that he's choice locked. So that's exactly what we're going to do, and he does indeed go for the switch, which is, to me, confirmation that he is choice locked, and he is going to go ahead and switch in with the Altaria. So we are going to go for the Shell Smash here, which is going to go ahead and cut our defenses, and it is also going to give us a sharp attack, special attack, and speed increase. And then we are also going to put our stats back to normal with the white herb. So we're set up with the Poltegeist now. So the best course of action here is to go ahead and go for a Shadow Ball. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We should be outspeeding this thing for sure. As he stays in, we go Shadow Ball. And it is not enough to one-shot this thing, unfortunately. As he goes for a Hurricane, he connects with the Hurricane, and that's going to knock us a little below half, unfortunately. But we do survive. Thankfully, we don't get confused. And I think the best course of action is just the Shadow Ball again, so that's exactly what we're going to do here. And he does stay in. We go for the next Shadow Ball here, and that's definitely going to take the Altaria out this time. And that is going to knock him down to 4. So Poltegeist putting in some work here, which is nice. So we'll see what he wants to bring in response. And it is going to be the King Gambit, as I kind of assumed. And he is going to go ahead and get the Supreme Overlord. So now we have a choice to make. We have a very important choice to make, because this thing is going to Sucker Punch us. There's pretty much no question in my mind that this thing is going to Sucker Punch us. So he's got the King Gambit, the Rotom, the Tauros, and the Gastrodon remaining. So you know what? I think what we're gonna do right now is we are going to go ahead and Terrastalize into a fighting type. We are going to go all in on Poltegeist here. We're going to Terrastalize into a fighting type and try to take this thing out with a Terra Blast and see how that goes. Hopefully we can take a resisted Sucker Punch from this thing if he goes for it. So here we go. Gonna give Poltegeist, hopefully it's time to shine, Terrastalizing into a pure fighting type here. There it is. And he does go for the Sucker Punch. Can we survive? No. No, we cannot survive, so that is very disappointing. Poltegeist is going to go down there. We wasted our Terra, and that's going to knock us down to 3, so that's very disappointing. Unfortunately, we gave Poltegeist its time to shine, and it was not able to make anything happen, so so that's unfortunate. So, yeah, I think what we're going to do here, how do we want to play this? How do we want to play this? I think the only thing we can really do is come in with our Greninja. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to come in with Greninja, and we are going to take the Stealth Rock and Spike damage, of course. And so, yeah, I think the only thing we can do here... Unfortunately, he does have the Gastrodon with the water immunity, which he could very easily switch into. I don't know if he'll want to or not. So I think, unfortunately, we're pretty much... I think we just have to go for the Surf because we're pretty much finished if we don't. So he is, in fact, going to go for the switch, unfortunately. And he's going to be switching in with the Gastrodon. So he does make the obvious switch, unfortunately. We go for the Surf. Purdian going to change us to a Water type, and unfortunately he's just going to soak that up with the Storm Drain, and that is going to increase his special attack. So the only good news about that is we do have the Arboleva on deck, which I believe is probably not going to take much damage from anything this thing goes for unless it has Ice Beam, which we'll find out. So we have to switch to the Arboleva. We take the Hazard's damage here. And he is going to go for a Recover, so that is super unfortunate. He's going to go ahead and go back up to nearly full HP there. So that sucks a lot, as we do get some HP back with the Leftovers. So he's probably not going to want to stay in on this matchup once again. He still has switches to this thing, so I think our best course of action with everything he's got left. I don't think this thing can really touch us. So I feel like we just have to go for the Earth Power. I think that's probably our safest play, because his switch in would be either the Rotom or the King Gambit, but the Rotom can't really do anything to us in return. So I think we just go Earth Power here, and he is indeed going to go for the switch. So what is he going to come in with? It is going to be the Rotom. So he does switch the Rotom in. We go for the Earth Power. Unfortunately, not going to touch this thing thanks to the Levitate, so that sucks a little. But not much we can do about that, as we do get some HP back with the Leftovers. So I don't really anticipate this thing wanting to stay in, so we could make a really risky prediction and go for the Earth Power again, predicting this thing to Volt Switch. And I think that might be what we have to do here. Because we need to try and catch the King Gambit coming in with the Earth Power. I think that's our only hope here. So we're going to make a... I mean, we're down, so we have to make a risky play, so we're going to go Earth Power. He actually does stay in and go Leaf Storm, which is really surprising. I can't believe he would do that, but because that does virtually no damage to us, as it is going to activate our Seed Sower as well, cutting his special attack harshly. Unfortunately, we went Earth Power again, so... Again, not going to do anything to the Rotom, as we are going to get some HP back with the Leftovers and the Grassy Terrain. So I feel like he has to... we're playing a dangerous game here, but I feel like he has to switch out now. I feel like this Rotom's probably choice in some way. So we're just going to Earth Power again here, as he stays in and he goes Will-O-Wisp, so he's actually not choice, so he's just letting us take the Rotom out here. So he gets a Will-O-Wisp to burn us, which is not the end of the world since we're a special attacker. And again, we go Earth Power, and unfortunately he's not making the plays. We are not making the reads right now, which is bad news. So we get some HP back with the Terrain and the Leftovers and take burn damage, of course. So I feel like this turn, we're just going to go Hyper Voice, and this will probably be the turn he switches out, as no, he is going to actually stay in and go Nasty Plot, so finally we wise up here. He goes Nasty Plot, gets that sharp special attack increase, but it's not going to matter because we do wise up this turn, go for the Hyper Voice, take the Rotom out, finally, and knock him down to 3, as we do get some HP back, once again, with the Grassy Terrain and the Leftovers. So, yeah, there we go, and then we're going to take some burn damage. So, that took a lot longer than it had to, but it is what it is. So now he's going to go ahead and come back in with the Tauros, which is obviously awful for us. He's going to get the Intimidate to cut our attack here. We pretty much have to switch out here, unfortunately, so we're going to, and we pretty much just have to give this thing something, so we're just going to switch out into the Talonflame. That's all we can really do at this point, because we need the Arboleva right now. So we're going to go ahead and switch directly into the Talonflame here. We are going to take 50% from the Stealth Rock because I unfortunately did not EV this thing correctly. He's going to go close combat, and we actually can hang on with 14 HP in the red, which is incredible. He is going to take some defense drops there and then get some HP back from the grassy terrain. So there's pretty much no reason for us to not just go Brave Bird here, so that's exactly what we're going to do. We do naturally outspeed this thing as he's actually going to go for the switch. And he's going to switch in with the Gastrodon, actually. So that thing's coming in. We're going to go for the Brave Bird on the Gastrodon. Max attack choice band. It's not quite enough to take the Gastrodon out, unfortunately, as the recoil is going to finish the Talonflame off. And that knocks us down to 2. We have less than a minute left in the game here as he gets some grassy terrain restoration. So it's all pretty much going to come down to this. We might as well just come in with the Greninja here, so that's what we're going to do. And so unfortunately there's not really much we can do here, so we're going to take all that hazard damage, and I think we're pretty much done at this point. He has too many Pokemon left, so we're going to go ahead and Dark Pulse here and see what he wants to do. He's actually going to go ahead and bust out his Terra with less than half a minute to go on the Gastrodon. He's going to go ahead and Terrastalize into a pure grass type, which is an interesting move. He knows this is the last turn, so that's probably why he's just doing it for the hell of it, because we're going to go for the Dark Pulse here. We know we outspeed. Protean changes to pure Dark type, and obviously that's going to be more than enough to finish the Gastrodon from that range and knock him down to just 2 Pokemon as the timer runs out. So it's all going to come down to this. We have the Greninja and the Arboliva left. He has the Tauros and the King Gambit left. So who's got more HP left in the tank? That's what it's going to come down to here. Yeah, he's got the Tauros and the King Gambit. We have the Arboliva and the Greninja. So who's got more HP left in the tank? It is him. So we are going to lose there, unfortunately. So we are going to lose that one. 2-2, actually. 2 Braves. But that was a really good match, actually. Very close, very competitive, right down to the wire. Functionally a draw at 2-2, although technically a loss for us, since this Pokemon did have more HP left in the tank at the end there. So, but yeah, that was a very hard-fought match there. Definitely some good plays and bad plays on both sides. For sure, and yeah, just an all-around solid game as you would expect. So, but that's it. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and/or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.